That day, the boys didn't do as they were told. Ashraf, 12, and Khader, 13. Instead of staying on the road, the brothers took the path through the forest. They were looking for pine cones when their wheelbarrow hit a stone. Ashraf, the younger boy, picked it up. What the children found was not a stone. Ashraf died. His brother survived, but was wounded in the stomach. In this country of olives, spices, and almond trees, seeds have been sown. These seeds are made from metal. Instead of giving life, they take it. They are cluster munitions. Two and a half years after the end of the war, I arrive in Lebanon to see how people are living with this threat. In 2006, Israel carried out an offensive against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. In the last 3 days of the offensive, between 1 and 4 million cluster munitions were dropped. Many of them didn't explode, and the whole area became one giant minefield. In Marjayun, a Christian village in the south, there is a school run by nuns. As she looked at the fighting in its final days, Sister Emily saw these strange bombs falling. Two and a half years later, the ghost of war is still present.
Before, in springtime, children used to picnic in the pine woods nearby. No one dares go there now. In some villages, children still aren't allowed to play outside.
Just like in Helta, a nearby sunny village. Helta, littered with mines and next to the Israeli border, was already a place few dared to go. After the war, the locals discovered a new threat. The streets of their village were littered with these small objects. They were everywhere. No one knew what they were. The Lebanese army warned them, "Don't touch them, we're coming." Instead of waiting, one villager threw 150 of them into the fire. When the Lebanese soldiers arrived, they were appalled. These things usually blow up at the slightest touch, the slightest vibration. God must have decided to spare the life of Helta's mine clearer 150 times. Real mine clearance lasted a month. Then the farmers went back to their fields. One of them was Ali Sheble. Ali is the father of Ashraf and Khader. A few months later, Ali's brother-in-law stepped on a cluster munition. And then it was Ali's turn.
My son was walking in front of the goat, and I was behind, on the same path we took every day. It blew up under my foot.
Never again will Ali go out with the goats. He has sold them. Now he's a prisoner in his house, in a village under siege.
Cluster bombs scatter between 80 and 650 explosives over an area the size of several football fields. Between 30 and 40% of these grenades do not explode. They fall on the ground and turn into deadly time bombs. These bombs are scattered throughout Lebanon. Some of them date back to the Vietnam War. They were already rusting when they were dropped.
Shiite country in southern Lebanon, a chain of hills and villages stretching to the sea, the heartland of Hezbollah, so obviously the prime target area. In a small village in this region, I visit Rasha Zayun, a young woman of 19. In Rasha's case, it was the bomb that came to her, right into the house. Her father had come home with a sack of thyme leaves, which he'd spent the day gathering. The family makes bunches of them to sell. Everyone was gathered round the sack. When Rasha plunged her hand inside, she felt something cold. The whole family might have been killed, but the teenager was the only one hit. The bomb took her left leg.
She goes to a special school. She learns sewing there.
Do you enjoy it, Rasha?
Of course she does.
Rasha's face lights up when I ask what she wants to do with her life.
I'd love to be a fashion designer.
Since the accident, she keeps her bedroom door shut and just draws and draws. Dresses and veils and all the beautiful things she sees in her head. Can we see them? No, sadly. An Italian television crew went off with her sketchbook and never brought it back. Today, I give her mine.
Cluster bombs were invented in Nazi Germany and have been in use ever since. In Afghanistan and Iraq by the United States, in Kosovo by NATO, in Georgia by the Russians. In Laos in the 1970s, the American army dropped 270 million of them, causing 11,000 victims, plus dozens more every year since. At the end of 2008, a treaty banning these bombs was signed in Oslo by 94 countries. The United States, Russia, China, and Israel did not sign it. Today, in Lebanon, 1 victim in 5 is a mine clearer. 43 square kilometers still remain to be decontaminated, and funds are dwindling.
I had a go at being a mine clearer.
In 43 days, we neutralized 17 explosives here. Right. We will give you protection gear and a helmet. But first, you must sign a disclaimer.
Damn, my blood group. I'm the only one who doesn't know it.
Ready?
Bomblets are a pro's worst nightmare. They're everywhere. If you're watching your feet, you can get one in the head. Have you ever tried looking up and down at the same time? Here, we are in the area that's to be cleared of bombs. A dozen specialists scan one twig after another, using a detector or sometimes just the naked eye. Hussein Alaya is my guide. He's 38, with 2 children. He's been working in minefields for 8 years.
We found one here, 8 centimeters on the ground. The owners had been working on this
Hang on a
land
second.
for 3 years.
A minor detail. They forgot my helmet. And where's the protection gear? One small metal ball is all it takes to spread fear, shut down a field, force farmers to abandon their harvest, and send people back home. Before leaving, I meet Abdel Amir Haider, a local farmer. Abdel had to abandon some harvest. He lost half his income, while other farmers, who were more reckless, paid dearly.
I'm just glad to be alive.
Near his farm, an almond tree is in bloom. Under the tree, there is a missile packed with submunitions. Buried a few centimeters below the surface, it lies dormant.